You are the son of Sheikh Hassan Youssef, one of the founding members of Hamas. I know about your story because I read your book here called The Son of Hamas in 2010. Absolutely inspirational book, and your story is incredible. Also, there's been a documentary made about your life called The Green Prince. Can you share with us how it all started? You were born in the West Bank in 1977. What was your life like growing up back then?
Well, first of all, thank you. I was born as a son of a Hamas leader. That was by birth, not by choice. In the Palestinian territories, in the jungle of Palestinian faction chaos. You know, there was no order, there was no constitution, no government at that time. And people were full of hatred, you know, they wanted to blame somebody on their misery, which was basically the outcome of the Arab world's misleading leadership that led Palestinians from disaster to a disaster. And the Palestinians or the victims of this conflict within the territories thought that Israel was their problem. They did not see that Yasser Arafat in Tunisia, you know, profiting from the conflict, was actually their enemy. They did not see that other Arab leaderships who did not want to reconcile with Israel and recognize Israel as an existing regime and coexist and live with Israel were responsible for the misery of the Palestinian people. They still don't see this. And I was part of this delusion, you know, that Israel was the cause for our misery and suffering. So we grew up, you know, buying hatred and projecting hatred. Eventually, and the story is long, you know, how I came to a place where I saw a higher truth. And I disagreed with the majority of the Palestinian people, which came at very high personal expense. And I choose to stay an honest witness for my own truth. I'm not promoting for Israel. I'm not speaking on behalf of Israel. I'm not an advocate of any crowd or nation or party. It just my sense of responsibility towards, first of all, my people, the ones who have not experienced what I experienced within Hamas leadership, within the Palestinian organizations. I was very close to the leaderships of most Palestinian leaderships, including Marwan Barghouti or Yasser Arafat, my father, Hamas leadership in Gaza, even Hamas leadership in Damascus at that time. And I'm very familiar with their minds, with their ambition, and with their mistakes, how they misled the Palestinian people and guide them from a disaster to a greater disaster throughout the conflict. I'm an individual. I reshaped myself the way I wanted, even though the majority of my people disagree. But Israel, to me, at the end of the day, is a democratic country. And I prefer democracy over dictatorships. And I think Israel is the only true democratic model in the region. I'm not affiliated with politics. This is not a political statement. This is a fact, and this is a reality. And what we need actually for the region is more models of Israel. Actually, we would like for surrounding countries to learn from Israel. I believe it's not I believe, actually, I know. It's the light of the region. Because democracy, dialogue, human rights, women's rights, animal rights, and so many other ethics and values of the Israeli constitution makes the country advanced and livable, and people from every path of life can coexist with each other. There are Arabs in Israel. You know, they're citizens of the state of Israel. They have rights. They have members in the Knesset. Even though they don't serve in the army, even though they don't do all the duties that other citizens do in the country, they still have rights like any other citizen in the country. And this is remarkable. Where are the Jews of the Arab countries? You know? Well, there are mosques, and actually Israel, within its own capital, Jerusalem, does not interfere with the Muslim sites. They're run by Muslim regimes. Like the Jordanians are responsible for the Islamic sites and mosques, and Israel does not interfere and give them absolute freedom to worship, even though they take advantage and they do violence. But in the meantime, let's see how many synagogues, you know, in the Arab world. Where are the synagogues in Jordan, in Iraq, in Saudi Arabia, and other Gulf countries? So practically, there is nothing. There are no Jews. You know, and the world talks about the Palestinian refugees. And we ask question, you know, how about the Jewish refugees, you know, who left everything, their property, their gold, their money, and they lost everything. And they were replaced or relocated somewhere else. What about those people? Aren't they people? So there is definitely a double standard in the way we are discussing the reality of the Middle East.
Absolutely. But how did you come to this mindset? Because that is an extraordinary transformation. You know, you were and still are the son of one of the founding members of Hamas. You know Hamas inside out. You know the Palestinian leadership. You know how that you were your mind was poisoned to believe such a narrative. And now you have a completely different perspective. What was the trigger that actually transformed your mindset and saw the truth as you see it?
It's by observation, you know. This is what science is all about. You know, we observe and we make sense of what we see. And there are facts. You cannot deny them. You know, of course, people in their political delusion, they can deny things, you know, and they can accuse Israel, and they can praise the predator, you know. The people can say whatever they want to say. I am responsible for my words, and I speak with the authority of my experience and first-hand observation of the reality, knowing Hamas leadership, knowing Palestinian Authority leadership, and knowing that they are the enemies of the Palestinian people. Israel cares for the Palestinian people more than their own leadership cares. You know, actually, Palestinian leaderships want Palestinian people to die. And that's a reality. It has been like this for so many years. There is no need for them if people don't die. And every now and then they start a war. So for me, you ask me what triggered that? It's an evolution, you know.